Okay. That should be video. And audio starts now.
Welcome to episode 55 of the Degenerates Clubhouse. And you know what? Off the top, I do want to try to answer a very important question that, I literally lay awake at night wondering this. Mondo, do you think there's such a thing as a funny knock-knock joke? Or are they just all patently terrible?
Well, they're like dad jokes. They could be funny if you kind of.
Do you know any good ones? Because I have pulled a few up.
Okay. Well, read them off. I don't know any at the top of my head, but go ahead. Fire 'em
Knock,
away.
knock.
Who's there?
Amish.
I'm a shoe.
You're not a shoe, Mondo. You're a person.
See? They're like dad jokes. They're like.
Most of them. But then I was like, are they all dad jokes? And I pulled up dirty ones.
Oh.
So apparently, it's the Degenerates Clubhouse, right? There has to be some dirty ones. And there was, let's see. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Ice cream.
Ice cream who?
Ice cream all night if you're lucky.
Oh, no.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Dozer.
Dozer who?
Those are the biggest boobs I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. See,
They're like, yeah, it's like dads who are also just complete degenerates.
Uh-huh.
But
I like them.
there was one that I found that I thought was legitimately good because it really kind of turned the form a little bit. So I think this is the funniest one, but you have to start it.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? It's funny. I think that's like the anti knock knock joke. If someone is doing knock knock jokes, you're like, fuck you. Ready?
Yeah.
Except they probably would just go right back into like knock knock. Who's there? Anita. I need you to come over to my place tonight. God damn it.
I would say boo. And you would say boo hoo.
Don't cry, baby. Okay, so I think we answered that question. All knock knock jokes are terrible.
No.
But you know what's even worse? What's truly, truly terrible?
The state of Florida is pretty horrible.
That's exactly what I was thinking. And I'm just gonna, you know what? Sensory warning. We've covered some very depraved stories out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
This one's not for the faint of heart. So, you know, little kids' earmuffs. We clicked the not safe for children, and we meant it. Mondo, what is happening this week in Florida?
This week in Florida, man. Fellsmere man arrested after intercourse with miniature horse. Yup. You heard that right. Intercourse with a miniature horse. After noticing ligature marks and bungee cords around its neck, the owner of a miniature horse in Vero Beach installed cameras in her barn. A few days later, the owner saw a man entering the barn and standing behind the horse in a sexual manner. For nearly 2 hours, the man returned to the barn 3 times during the night.
Holy shit.
The guy's got stamina, if anything else. Within 2 hours, 3 times, it's pretty good, dude. Pretty good. The man in the video was identified as a 50-year-old Santiago Victoria of Fellsmere. The horse owner called the Indian River County Sheriff's Office to report the incident. Go ahead.
I'm just trying to like unpack this in my mind before we. So first of all, does it make it better or worse that it's a miniature horse?
If it was for him, it's better that it's a miniature horse. Because if it was a full size horse, he'd probably be bucked to death by. There's no way a horse would be like allow some little thing to bone it. You know what I mean? Some little miniature guy.
Because you know what? Like, I feel like if it was a regular sized horse, you'd be like, that's fucked up. That's bestiality. But I'm also kind of impressed. Like, how did you do that? But it's just a poor, like, have you seen miniature horses before?
Yeah, they're fucking like, they're tiny. They're little things. They're like goats.
They're kind of like stumpy.
Yeah.
Like, so that's the other part, too. Like, what? I guess I just can't put myself in the mind of someone who is attracted to a horse. Because sometimes in these Florida man stories, I'm like, all right, I can see in this sort of drug-addled, drunken brain how this all unfolded. But this guy, it wasn't just that he was like, yeah, I wonder what it would be like to have sex with a miniature horse. He did it, and then he came back how many times?
3 times in 2 hours.
In 2 hours. So, like, he finished, he left, and he's like, you know what? That was actually pretty fucking good. I'm going to go back. he left again. He's like, you know what? I can't stay away.
Yeah.
This miniature horse has me under its spell 3 times.
That's why I'm saying that dude give the guy some credit. He's got some stamina because I can't think of with a human. Actually, there's probably been one time where I've boned like 3 times in 2 hours. But I mean, it's pretty hard to pull off. I mean, usually like one after another is pretty cool, but a third time, especially within 2 hours, is by the third time, it's like I can't nut. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's for me. That's usually just the second time. Like, first time's for me, second time's for you. That's how it works. Like we can go indefinitely long. This guy did not have the problem because apparently that miniature horse was like hotter than everyone we've ever slept with. Okay, to him, right? Because it's all equivalent. Like that horse was hotter to him than any of the women that we have slept with were to us.
You sent me the article, so I'm sure you've seen the picture of the guy.
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
I literally just saw the headline. I'm like, oh, this is it.
Oh man, he's got a gray and black like goatee that goes to like maybe here, and he's got like a very bad receding hairline with like kind of a little bit of a strip of hair down the middle and real bushy, kind of like a Mexa mullet. I don't know, like just a dude that.
How many teeth do you think our boy's working with?
He has his mouth closed in both pictures, so I'm guessing he's got
over or under 10.
Over 10.
Over
I'm gonna
10?
give him some credit.
Okay, but they're definitely not straight.
Oh no. His teeth are as fucked up as mine. Deputies interviewed.
That's actually what attracted him to the miniature horse. He's like, your teeth are so beautiful.
Oh, they're so perfect.
Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Deputies interviewed Santiago, who admitted to having intercourse with the horse. He also told deputies that he did not have permission to be in the barn. Santiago was arrested and charged with 3 counts of burglary of a structure and transported to the Indian River County Jail, where his bond was set at $75,000. That's a lot of money for boning a horse. What the hell?
Dude, did you ever see that old show, Mr. Ed? On Nickelodeon?
I did.
It was like a talking horse, and they would just put peanut butter on this horse's lips to make it move. And if I recall, the theme song was like, a horse is a horse, of course, unless, of course, it's a talking horse, something like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the complete Florida Man reboot of Mr. Ed. It's like, it's intercourse with the horse, of course, unless, of course, it's a miniature horse. Was it better or worse with a miniature horse?
Now I gotta ask you a question.
This is Florida, man.
Would it have made better or worse if it was his horse, if it belonged to him?
Well, okay, being that many of these things are based on 90s teen movies, as posited by the canonical Road Trip movie, it's okay if it's your dog. I believe the exact question that was asked was, if you put peanut butter on your balls and you let your dog lick it off, it's okay because it's your dog.
Yeah.
And I think George Carlin also had a bit about that too, because it was like, what was it? It was something where he was talking about blowing a cat. And he's like, it's a victimless crime. No one gets hurt, and the cat loves it. So I think it would be better if it was his horse, I guess. But it's like we're dealing with different shades of terribleness and bestiality. So whether it's better or worse, I think it's still pretty bad. If this is pass fail, this is a hard fail for Florida Man.
Wasn't there, I don't know if it still exists, but there used to be some laws where you can actually marry an animal, right? Doesn't that exist somewhere like or am I making that up?
No. So I think what you're referring to was there were so many bigoted people when gay marriage became legalized. They're like, oh my God, what's going to come next? Are people going to be marrying animals? And it's like, no, it's not the same thing, buddy. Like, these are 2 human beings who are smart, intelligent, probably a lot smarter than you, who want to enter into a relationship. Very different than interspecies romance.
Yeah, but I could have swore that like decades ago there was this thing where like someone.
You're probably right. Probably somewhere, right? The world is a wide and crazy place, so I'm sure somewhere it's legal to marry your fucking alpaca or your. Oh, Mondo, here's this is kind of like a knock joke.
Okay.
Why do Scotsmen take sheep to the edge of cliffs?
Why do Scotsmen take sheep to the edge of cliffs? Because they can only go in one direction. When
Yeah,
they're
so
butt fucking
so
from
the
behind.
sheep will push back.
Oh, damn. Whoa. Graphic.
That's I don't know if the sheep would push back, but the whole thing about Scotsman fucking sheep, I think that's a true thing.
Sorry, Scottish friends of ours. Yeah. The opinions and comments shared by Aaron Jaffe do not represent all of Degenerates Clubhouse.
Hey, Scotsman, be honest with yourself. The kilt was designed for easy access.
It probably was, dude. That's gross.
Anyhow, is that the end of the story?
Yeah, that was it for Ask Reddit, or that was it for Florida Man. Weird.
So just to wrap up, bestiality bad. Don't do it. It doesn't matter if it's your horse or not. No bestiality. Bad Florida Man. Bad boy. No.
Let's move to Reddit. On Ask Reddit, we look up a couple interesting topics, and let's see what some of the answers and questions are on Reddit. Ask Reddit question number 1. Aaron, what do you collect?
I really don't collect a whole lot of anything.
Hufflepuff shirts?
No, I just have the one. I don't know if you can call that a collection. No, I chose that question because you seem to be an avid collector of many things. So what do you collect?
All right. Well, if I'm going to fire off first, I collect MMA. Well, it started off with MMA trading cards, like there's football cards and basketball cards and baseball cards and hockey shit. I got on the bandwagon with the UFC cards like in 1998, and then that kind of evolved into me collecting like just all kinds of random MMA memorabilia. I just love the UFC and MMA in general. I've got a tons of posters and autographed things and like toys and random bullshit just signed by a bunch of MMA fighters. Aaron's made fun of me before for having 5 posters of Dominic Cruz.
Got a lot of posters of a shirtless Dominic Cruz.
And then one sweatshirt that was this one here. Where's my finger?
Did Dominic wear that sweatshirt?
No, but he.
Have you ever smelled it to confirm?
No, I have not. I don't. Well, first of all, I don't know what Dominic smells like. Number 1, number 2,
don't you? Have you ever met him?
No. Oh no, no, not like I've seen him in person. He was like 25, 50 feet. It was actually at the Rockhold Bisping fight, the forum, the pre-week fight stuff. They did the open training where it's open to the public, and I went and saw him like kind of shadow box and spar. I saw all of them there pretty much except for Uriah. I don't think Uriah showed up.
Follow-up question, because I've seen many fan photos with fighters on Instagram where the fighter's standing next to them and they both have their hands up like they're going to fight. And just quick question, if you were taking that photo with Dominic, would you just lean over and smell him? Be honest.
No.
Did you guys hear that long pause where he was thinking about it?
No, yeah, no. It's like no, because I have been within the vicinity of him. I forget where it was. He had broken like something in his. I don't know if it was his tendons or something in his arm, or fractured his wrist or some bullshit. And he was doing like an autograph signing thing, and he was like within 5 feet of me, and I didn't do this.
Did you want to?
No, and I'll tell you why I'm. This is no homo. I've actually stood right next to dreamy Brian Ortega and just kind of broke down with him, cool guy, and talked to him for a good like not 5 minutes. It felt like 5 minutes, but I think if I were to be no homo, like attracted to a guy, MMA fighter, probably be Brian Ortega. That guy.
He had the long hair at that point, huh?
Longer hair. He's got those blue or green eyes or whatever color his eyes are. I don't know what color those eyes are, but
you know.
No, I don't. I do have a photo with me and Chuck doing the thing, and he's like up on my grill. I got one of those with Chael.
Fist up like you.
Yeah. Well, the video, I'm doing it to the video could see me. Video could do. And I got one with Chael Sonnen, and Chael was cool because Chael actually put his forehead up against mine, like fuck you, like forehead to forehead.
I just want to get a photo with Kevin Holland where I'm double leg takedowning him.
Oh, good luck with that. Yeah.
No, it's really easy.
It would be really easy, but then he would probably beat you up afterwards.
I think he'd laugh if I asked him, like, dude, can I get a photo where I'm shooting a double on you? I don't even have to finish the shot.
I've got a picture with Dom Reyes. Andre Feely, I bought Andre Feely a beer. I was like, hey, man, you want a beer? He's like, yeah, sure, why not? him and his missing teeth and everything.
Mhm.
Bought him a beer, and he was like, "Oh, cool, bro." We drank beers, and yeah, I bought Tony Ferguson a beer, and he gave me a little autographed like little boxing glove thing off of his keychain. I'm like, oh, I was like drunk, I was hammered. He's like, I was like, hey, dude, I didn't know you were gonna be here. If I would have known, I would have brought something for you to autograph. Blah blah blah. It sucks, but I'm glad I got to buy you a beer. That's cool. He's like, I got something for you. Me pull something out of his. He pulled off his keychain little boxing glove thing off and then signed it and gave it to me. I was like, whoa, sweet. I still have it somewhere. It's probably on my thing over there. But yeah, I collect a lot of MMA memorabilia. Not really to resell, but it's just 'cause I'm a big nerd fanboy of the stuff. What about you? I've talked about my
So
dorkiness.
yeah, I haven't really collected anything tangible since I was like a little kid. I mean, I
Comic
did
books.
baseball cards. I didn't even collect comic books. I did buy some of them just to read, but I would usually get the graphic novels because it was easier. You wouldn't have to have all the little individual pages. But I guess in a weird way, I was collecting
Used.
reposts from UFC fighters on Instagram. That was sort of the. So I would make images with the express intent of getting them to repost them, because prior to William Morris Endeavors buying the UFC, they really weren't very good at marketing. It's kind of amazing how far they got. So there are all these sort of like mid-tier and upper mid-tier fighters, really outside of like the big headliners who just got zero help with promotion. Like they weren't having fight posters made for them. They weren't having content that they could kind of post and repost. Like it was sort of on the fighters to generate a fan base and have content for their social media. So I would see fighters who I thought should be getting more of a push, or like should be getting, fight posters and all this kind of stuff made for them, and they were just getting no help from the actual promotion. So I would make things for them to repost. And so that was sort of like a little collection. So I'm trying to remember all the people who reposted. Like one of the favorite pieces I made was Max Holloway. He reposted it.
The one with the wings.
Yeah, it's like
That
an
was cool.
animated photo where like Max Holloway, his nickname, his fight name is Blessed MMA, but like, and he's got these big angel wings tattooed on his back. So I made this sort of blue glowing Max Holloway, like hovering with like flapping wings, and like a opposing fighter like shielding his face from the light. I thought that was just cool. He reposted that.
My favorite of yours was the JoJo PVC fight before I think PVC had to pull out or someone. The fight didn't transpire, but that one was
Calderwood pulled out.
Oh, it was a JoJo did?
Yeah, because then Paige Van Zandt ended up fighting Rose Namajunas and was a 2-1 favorite, and I put a lot of money.
Okay.
That's like the one fight where I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How? That's before bookies figured out how MMA works. But let's see. Let's just go on the list. So yeah, Paige Van Zandt, Joanne Calder reposted two of mine. Yana Jędrzejczyk reposted two of the images I made.
Which ones of hers?
One was like a really old fight of hers. I can't remember. I think it was her versus Valerie Letourneau.
Okay.
And then there's a more recent one I did where this is post breast augmentation JJ, and
I like it the way her boobs look.
She's been really working hard on her Instagram cutie weight status. Where like maybe there's some girls who might naturally be cuter, but she's like, I will do all the bikini pics and I will post them. And she had one where it was just a red one-piece bathing suit, and she's posing, and I saw it. I'm like, this screams Baywatch. So I just photoshopped The Rock from the when he's in his little Baywatch, because there was a Baywatch movie starring The Rock and Zac Efron. Yeah. And so I just photoshopped The Rock next to her, and people thought that was hilarious, and she reposted it. I had one I repost from Dan Henderson. It was him literally punching a Tyrannosaurus Rex in the face, and it was just captioned Dan Henderson's first UFC fight. And that was one where I don't think he really got it, but people kept sending it to him, and he's like, I guess I'm supposed to repost this. Luke Rockhold reposted one. Don Cerrone. There were a lot.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that many people reposted your shit. I knew of a few of them here and there, but I didn't.
Oh, there were. I mean, I'm probably forgetting a lot. Like, yeah, in the early days, I was getting tons of reposts. That's mostly how I grew my account. I was just making cool content for people to repost, and more recently, it's just been like regional kind of local fighters. But that was fun. That was a fun way to kind of like come up. And
have you ever even mentioned your social media, like your MMA social media thing handle on live on one of our episodes at all? I don't think you ever mentioned it. Your handle.
Blasted MMA? I think so.
BLASTYD MMA.
Oh, yeah. Chris Camozzi, Aljamain Sterling.
So now he's bragging.
Gunnar Nelson, that was one. I'm trying to look through them. You know what? You know who never fucking did? I made a couple for Misha Tate. She never did.
Was this pre or post Brian her ex-boyfriend?
Probably. I mean, probably during, like, while they're still in her. You mean pre or post breakup?
Yeah.
Pre-breakup?
Yeah.
He's like, no, you can't.
Yeah. No, you can't do this. And now she's all about showing your titties.
Oh, yeah, Kat Zingano. Holly Holm also, I made a couple for her. She never reposted them.
Holly Holm doesn't seem like one that handles her own social media. Holly Holm seems like she's got someone doing it for her. Like she's too busy actually training. You know what I mean?
Probably. But anyhow, yeah, I had a lot of those, and I don't know. It was fun. It was fun. But now the actual like UFC marketing department is doing a great job. I'm like, oh, my work here is done. You don't really need my help.
I still think you should do it if you have the free time.
Oh, Demetrius Johnson. Wait, hold on. Let me show you. This was a fucking cool one that I did for him. Because I made one of him as Mighty Mouse.
Put it on the camera so I could see it. That way the people can see it too. Pull back a little. Oh, there you go. Oh, it's Black Panther. I've never seen that one.
Yeah. So what happened was, hold on. I made this one first. It was supposed to be of him as Mighty Mouse. And he saw it and he's like, that's good, but could you just do something cooler, please? Could you make, and I was like, who? And he's like, Black Panther? I was like, all right. And so I really worked hard on that Black Panther one. Yeah. He goes, I'll be on the lookout. No rush. Not much black superheroes out there. We just got Black Jedi.
Let's see. Some of the answers by Reddit users for that question is user both Voltaire fan writes, magnets, the fridge is currently armored. Let's see. You know what else I collect? Well, it's another dumb answer. I collect stickers, but it's more because I want to stick them on shit. I just don't have anything to stick them onto currently. Got to figure that out. User Sung God Jackson writes, books that are 100 years old or more. Wow, that's a cool collection to have. Like 100-year-old books, like antique books, old fucking scrolls and shit. User Gao or Goey writes, rocks and minerals. Boo, boring. User J the M writes, old hand power tools and axes. User Albi_01 writes, retro games. I would like to start collecting cassette tapes too. My dad used to have an 8-track player. Do you know what 8-tracks are, Aaron?
Uh-huh.
He used to have an 8-track player for the long, like CDs were the newest technology, and he still had his 8-track player with a bunch of 8-tracks. We convinced him to get rid of that, but he also had vinyl. But vinyl is still kind of cool.
It made a comeback.
Yeah.
Now people prefer it because I guess it sounds different.
It sounds different. It sounds like almost more live because it's not produced. It's just like this is what it is when they're recording it. And
dude, I wish I knew where this one vinyl album. I don't even know what it was because there's this street in Philadelphia called South Street, and I can't remember if I took you there or not.
Is that Southie?
No.
Southie's
in Boston, so no.
I don't know.
Yeah, Southie's in Boston. That's like the Goodwill Hunting. Like, I was about to try to do a Boston accent, and I was like, nope. I'm gonna spare everyone that.
Your father
Parked
the car in Harvard Yard.
That was truly terrible. But no, Philadelphia and South Street. There's just like a bunch of like weird kind of alternative shots. There's like little live music venues. There's tons of bars. I mean, it's just sort of like little counterculture street in a way. I do remember there was like a giant sex shop there, but there's also there's tons of music, and I just went with a friend and just on random I bought this. I don't know what it was. It was like almost like a techno album, but it was like this like remix of like a kind of a Star Wars theme, but it was techno. It was a banger.
Oh,
and it was so good. I would just put that on the record player, and I have no idea what happened to it. I wonder if my parents still have it somewhere. I don't know how I got onto that. Vinyl records would be cool to collect because they look cool. Like the albums are almost like their own little art.
Yeah.
And then you can actually listen to them.
That was it for Ask Reddit question number 2. Ask Reddit question number. I'm sorry, that was number 1. Ask Reddit question number 2 is, what's your roommate horror story? Now, caveat: we can go with two. We can go with one of two ways with this question and answer it. If we actually tell horror stories of our previous roommates, I have a hunch that some of my previous roommates will hear it and then, cry and yeah, and send me texts about how
Like that?
yeah, pretty much. So my answer
Bro,
is
I thought we were cool. What are you putting me on? First of all, like the 10 people that are going to listen to this episode, and the one random person in like South Korea that's going to tune in because we're live streaming this. I mean, the South Korean person's
Russia.
already judging us enough.
Russia.
Well, yeah, they're just hacking your computer right now.
Yep, they see all my porn.
So yeah, they know. So there's no judgment. But you know what? I have roommate horror stories, both viewing myself in the negative and roommates from freshman year of college.
Okay.
Because I think the two things that I did that were probably the worst, and compared to some of the other stuff, I'm like, well, maybe it wasn't that bad. Was one, I bunked the beds in a room, which doesn't seem that terrible but from my perspective, I was like, oh, of course, obviously everyone would want the beds bunked, so I'll just do it. Like, I don't need to ask my roommate. I'll just do it because like he would want this clearly, and he'll be so happy.
Were you willing to take the top bunk though? Like, if you're willing to take the top bunk, it's really not that big of a crime.
Well, not only was I willing to take it, I did take it.
Okay.
But then I also would very energetically get out of the top bunk. Like, I would jump down from the top bunk. And yeah, it happened once where we just were both getting out simultaneously. Like, he was rolling out of the bottom bunk, and I jumped down from the top bunk, and I landed on him. He's not a big guy. 5'6", maybe 140 pounds.
Yeah.
And it's like, that has to be a terrible way to wake up. You're like, oh, I'm rolling out of oh my God, there's a fucking 200-pound kid on me.
Yeah.
So that was bad. And then I also, I think, I was watching porn.
Hold on really quick. Did you go cupping?
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, that's a whole separate.
Yeah. No, I just noticed your bicep. Go on, continue.
Perfect time to bring that up. Cupping is just to now we have to explain.
No, you can go. We can just continue.
No, I'm fucking explaining. You brought it up.
I just saw your bicep.
Yeah, if you don't want an explanation, don't interrupt. Cupping is when they actually put like a suction cup like over your skin. They'll suck all the air out, so it creates a little vacuum over the skin, which draws a bunch of blood into that area.
Like a hickey.
It's kind of like a supercharged hickey, just to get a bunch of blood into that area to help heal. It's good for if you've got like trigger points and muscle knots and all that kind of stuff. It just kind of floods a little area with blood. And you've probably seen like I feel like swimmers all the time.
MMA fighters do it. There was a girl that fought yesterday. Norma Dumont you could see like hard circles all up and down her back from cupping before the fight.
It works pretty good, and it's they're cheap. You can get your own cupping set for like $30.
Did you do it yourself?
I did not. But back to the roommate horror stories, none of which involved cupping.
I just saw it.
That would be a fucked up one. If you like wake up and all of a sudden you're like, there's just like cups all over you. You're like, what the fuck are you doing to me? And
your roommate's giving you hickeys and you're asleep.
Well, especially the way they used to do them. Wow, no, we're back on this tangent. The way they used to do them, they would actually do it with fire.
That's what they did with leeches.
No, that's leeching.
Okay.
That's holy fuck, Mondo. This is a James Marshall level tangent that you're bringing us on.
We didn't have to go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring it up.
You didn't have to lift up your arm so I could see your bicep.
I did because my shoulder is getting sore.
All right.
No, leeches, they thought that like your blood had the bad stuff in it. So if the leech sucked out the bad blood, then it would cure you. That was just people being stupid, not understanding how science works. Like leeches, there's just no real benefit to them. Completely different. No, the way they used to do this, because cupping was like an Eastern medicine thing to start, and they would actually do it with fire. Where like I can't remember exactly how they did it, but like they would I think they'd almost like light like a little candle and they'd put it on the skin, and then they would put the cup over it, and because that was before they had these like little intricate suction pumps.
Yeah.
And when and they would be glass. So when the candle's covered by glass, it would run out of oxygen because fire needs oxygen to burn. And then when it didn't no longer had the oxygen, it would have created a vacuum. The fire would go out, and then it would actually work as cupping.
As seen on the Karate Kid movie with the Will Smith kid.
Oh, they did fire cupping?
Yeah.
Cool. So back to the roommate stories. Do you have any other tangents you want to bring us on? Do you want to bring up like?
So Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are having a divorce pretty soon. I'm just kidding. Go on. Back to your roommates.
So, here I'll try to rush through this. This went on a whole tangent.
That's your fault.
I did not understand how easily noise could pass through the doors in the freshman dorm. Two, I was watching porn and I thought it was over, and I guess it like looped back to the start, but that only happened after I'd left. So there was just porn on a loop playing in our room.
Nice.
And my poor roommate comes back and he can hear it through the door, and he's like, fuck, I guess my roommate's beating off. And so he's like, I guess, I don't know how long he was there, just respectfully waiting. At some point he must have knocked and there's no answer. He's like, I don't, and he just goes in and the fucking computer's like, just playing porn noises. I'm like, oh no, that's pretty bad. Great, because everyone sees like you're going into the porn noises room, which I felt worse for him than myself. So he did not stick around as my roommate. I don't know. I'm sure partly, at least part of that was my fault, if not all of it. But I got punished. You know, sometimes there is karma. Because I wasn't the most terrible. I've like tried to be considerate, and some stuff just didn't make sense to me because I'd never lived with anyone like that before. I always had. I was my only. I was an only child. I always had my own room, and I got matched up with a football player who, before the end of
is this Porterville?
Yeah, before the end of the January term, he was banned from campus because he was one of not the primary weed supplier for the school. And I remember, this was when I had practice, I had to wake up in the morning for the next morning. Police, actual, not the Whittier campus security, actual police raid our room in the middle of the night. Like they're searching, they're going through all my shit. And I looking back was just in like full white boy privilege mode, because they're like, I think they probably asked me to get out of bed. I'm like, no, I didn't do anything. If you find anything in my stuff, I'll get out. I need to go back to sleep. I have practice. And they're like, and I probably said it and I sounded so irritated with them that they're like, all right, fuck it, like whatever.
Yeah, but go ahead.
What's up?
No, you're right when you said you prefaced it with white boy privilege, because if you're a black dude, they would have just yanked you out of the bed or somewhere.
It would have been like when I jumped on my roommate, except I would have been the roommate and they would have been me. That I don't think you can get. But I'm notoriously cranky, and much more so when I was younger, when I'd get woken up. So I was just fucking pissed off. And I just remember my roommate coming back in after. He's like, dude, don't worry, it's cool. I told him you had nothing to do with it. And I was like, you fucker, I did have nothing to do with it. You're not doing me a favor when you're telling them the truth. You got our fucking room raided. And he's like, oh, I don't know. And then he gets kicked out. And he wouldn't leave. He was squatting in our dorm when they kicked him out. And they weren't doing anything about it. And I finally got to the point where one day I just took all of his stuff out, just put it in the hallway.
Nice.
And he was like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I knew you had to move out, so I was just trying to help you. He's like, I could have done it. I'm like, yeah, I'm helping you. I think it's time to go.
Damn.
I was so because this also all coincided with me tearing my ACL. So like this was just me being fucking mad at the world, torn ACL. Like I'm like, all right, like I might be able to play this season. And right when this is all happening, our room gets raided, and this fucker won't move, even though he was not allowed to be on campus. Like it was like he could go to classes and then leave, and that was it. He wasn't allowed to go to the cafeteria, anything. He was banned from campus, and this fucker was like still he'd show up in the middle of the night and sleep in the room.
Nice.
Get out, dickhead. That was my roommate horror story.
I've been a horrible. I have a bunch of like where my roommates were horrible roommates towards me. I have a lot of those. I'd rather not share those. But I know I've been a bad roommate as well. I roomed once my freshman year with a dude from the Pacific Northwest. His name was Aaron too, by the way. Um, total like total brainy like bookwormy guy. Nice guy. Was a super video game dork guy. I didn't know if we were gonna get along or not, but I was like, hey, dude, I'm bringing home this chick, and we're gonna probably do stuff. If you see there was a whole like, if you see a sock tied around the doorknob, like, hey, I'm doing something. So he respected it for several hours, but I think like after like 11 o'clock midnight, he's kind of like, fuck this, I'm going to my room, going to bed. And I did happen to have this girl in the bed with me. I was like, oops, I think I overstayed the whole rule thing. He ended up going to bed, passing out. She didn't leave. She was still in the bed. She ended up giving me head while he was still in the room, and that was kind of
No, while this was happening, did you have cupping on you?
no, no. That would have holy shit. No, that didn't. No cupping, but yeah, I got head.
Would you ever get head while you had cupping?
Yeah,
Just like just on your inner thighs, little cups all up and down.
I
So it
think
was like a
that'd be
little.
that's awesome. I think that'd be sweet.
It doesn't feel good.
No, I imagine it felt like a hickey, kind of like, whoa, hey.
No, I meant the head. It doesn't. If you,
Oh,
no, I'm just. No, it doesn't. It actually is quite uncomfortable to get cupping and head if they're using teeth.
uh, another time I was a horrible roommate. One of our mutual brothers, Aaron Ellis, and I had a room, and we also had bunk beds, and I was a top bunk because he was a little bit of a
I like how you not only used his first name, you were like Aaron Ellis.
yeah.
He is now employed at. You want to give
No,
his
I could, but I won't. He's not employed, I don't think. Anyway, we had bunk beds, and I was a smaller fella by probably like 10 or 15 pounds. So I had a top bunk, and we had our bunks like, I'm trying to do the camera, like an L, where one was like this on top of the other, but not like that on top of it. It was like that. And I was on the top one.
Yeah,
and
they were perpendicular
Sure.
with an overlapping circle
overlapping
or
corner.
square. Yeah.
Yeah, and then anyway, so I got real hammered one night, climbed up on top of my bed, and I get up to the top of my bed, and I start getting the spins as I'm up there. He's down underneath in the bottom bunk asleep, and I was like, whoa, vomit. I vomit all over my shoulder and myself, but some of it like seeped down underneath to the bottom, and it like got him on his forehead. But Aaron is cool enough that he didn't make a big stink of it because he's like, oh well, whatever.
No, it sounds like you already did that.
What?
Made a big stink of it.
Oh yeah, I did. It was vomit all over him. He didn't care. But like I said, he probably
Oh, he cared.
nah.
He's still harboring that to
Nah.
this day.
Nah.
Don't fool yourself. He
Nah.
wasn't like, it's cool. Sometimes you just get vomited on by your roommate. No
With-
biggie.
With him as my roommate, I that year with him as my roommate, I probably drank the most alcohol in a calendar year ever in my life. I kid you not. Probably 5 of 7 days, and I'm not exaggerating this. 5 of 7 days we were drinking, if not drunk. That's how much. Because he was in that party mode every day, and like he was like he wasn't the kind of that guy that would peer pressure you. He'd be like, here, pussy, I brought a handle. Let's finish this handle of fucking gin together. And I'd be like, no. And I would drink a few just to kind of just kind of get him off my ass. But it was always like a 12 or 18 or a handle. It was a wild adventure.
Was it fun? I don't.
Sometimes it was fun, but sometimes it was like I just didn't feel like drinking, but I did just to kind of like get him off my ass a little bit.
I mean, not to psychoanalyze, but to me that sounds like something probably not so great was going on. Like,
Well, he's different now. He's a little bit more mellow. But back then, I remember his philosophy because he told me this when he was my roommate. His philosophy back then used to be, I don't see the purpose of drinking if you're not going to get fucked up. Like it wasn't it was an inability to like, hey, I just want to loosen up, have a couple drinks. Like there was none of that. It was like if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna get fucked up, and that was just again, he's not like that anymore. He's a father and matured a whole lot more since then. But
I don't know about you. I like to have all my senses working. Like, if something's enjoyable, if it's actually fun, I can enjoy it even when I'm not drunk. It's more when something's kind of like shitty or maybe you're not so happy with yourself or whatever, and you want to kind of dull everything. You want to cut out some of those extra senses. So you're like, yeah, I can drink my way through this fucked up situation.
nah, there's no. I don't drink to get I try not to drink to numb something. I try to drink to kind of loosen up. So there's like a balance. Like, don't get me wrong. If someone really close to me died, like my buddy Don a few weeks ago, I was like, I'm gonna get fucked up. Like that night, I was like, I'm gonna get fucked up. You do kind of want to numb it. You don't want to make a habit of it, but
Well, but I see. I think some people in college, in particular, are not comfortable in social situations. Like, it's maybe there's a lot more anxiety than they would actually like to admit, and the way they kind of get themselves through that is they get fucked up, where it's just they go to there's all these stupid terms. Oh, it's the party monster. It's the whatever. It's like, no, it's just because you're not that self confident and you can't handle social situations, and you're using alcohol as a crutch to get through it. Whereas, like, if you just learn to be a little bit more confident, and not even confident, but just kind of accept what it is, like, it would probably be more fun.
Yeah.
So to me, the best conversations I've had with people in college were not when I was fucked up. Like, they're ones that we were making actual rational points, and like I can remember everything that they said, and I don't know. That's just me.
Some of the other answers on Reddit about roommate horror stories. User back to Bach writes, "My first college roommate hated doing laundry. When he ran out of clean underwear for a date, he'd borrow mine, even though I told him to leave my stuff alone. As I once described, he'd return my underwear unwashed after his dates with all of his smells and hers trapped in the material. It
Ugh.
felt weird wearing them afterwards, knowing his junk had been in them.
Ugh.
Fuck that. You are not wearing my
Ugh.
chones, dude."
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? If a roommate did that every once in a while, and they're like, "Dude, it was a crisis. Here, I bought you a new 3-pack of underwear," I'd be like, "Cool, no problem. Please, like, why don't you just buy that for yourself and have it on reserve so you don't have to take mine?" But like, no, what the fuck are you doing? I will wear tons of used stuff from thrift stores. Underwear might be the only one where I'm like, no, what the fuck? I'm not wearing someone else's used underwear.
User KitKat2651 writes, "I'm a teacher, and when I had to teach from home last year, my roommate decided to invite a hookup over. My roommate knew I was working and knew I was going out of town for the weekend in less than 2 hours. Rather than wait, he and his hookup decided to bang so loudly that I could hear them over my soundproofing headphones. Mind you, I was working one-on-one with a student on Zoom whose mom was helping out in the background. They both very likely could have heard what was going on. I quickly muted myself with no explanation to the student, ran from the office, and pounded at the door to have them quiet down. All he did was turn music on to try and cover the noise. It didn't help." Blah, blah, blah. She goes on to...
She's like, then I ran down 2 blocks to the adult store. I bought a ball gag, and I ran back and said, "You need to use this." And they put it in, and everything was fixed. I think that was the answer to that dilemma. It was just a ball gag. It would have been fine.
Oh, it's funny because a lot of these answers are super long, and I don't want to read all of them, but let's just jump to one random. Keith J. Cheek writes, "Lived in a fairly small apartment with 3 roommates, 2 of which I was friends with, and 1 random girl. The random girl would turn down our AC so low that one day it stopped working because it was literally frozen. We asked her to stop so many times, but she just ignored us. Our electric bill was always so high. One month it was $400. She also came home with a cat one day, but she was never home to take care of it. So she just left it in the dark room all day. We would play with it when we could, but one day it was just gone." Yeah, I had a cousin that lived with me, and she was doing me a solid because I was living with a gal. The gal moved out, and my cousin was already one of our third roommate. Um, so anyway, she bought a dog, and the dog, cute little thing, but she had a habit of leaving really early in the morning to go to work and would leave the door open sometimes. So the dog would get out, and I'd have to go chase after it in the morning. Like, I'd go for, like, where the fuck is the dog? Go look for the dog, put him back inside. But he would also shit everywhere because it was an upstairs downstairs thing. He would shit everywhere downstairs, and she wouldn't clean up after it. And it was like, I would do it. And finally, I was like, okay, I'm not going to clean up after her dog. I'm just going to leave all this shit here. Let her. Eventually, she'll get the hint with the smells, and she'll want to pick up after it. Never happened. Never. The dog's shits were just staying there all over the fucking place. And it was like, anyway, one day she left the door open. Fucking dog got out. ran away, never saw that dog again. So it was like, well, that takes care of that problem, but that sucks because the dog was cute. So, um, that was just it for Ask Reddit question number 2. There's a lot of other answers I could read, but these answers are all kind of long, so I don't want to go into all of them. We're gonna jump into our next segment. What the fuck, Craigslist? Where we scour, or Armando scours Craigslist for some odd postings on Craigslist.
Yeah, how long are we into the recording?
We're 40 something, 45.
Yeah, let's just do like 2, 3.
Sure.
Just quick.
Let's go into the funnier ones then, I guess. Reddit or what the fuck's Craigslist number 1? Cheyenne. So this is up in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Looking for female tacos. I'm a bigger guy and I would love to eat me some female tacos. There was a woman used to have the best tacos. If you were that woman, please email me. Looking to meet anytime this weekend.
Okay, so I guess there's not a lot of Mexican food in Cheyenne, and he just wants someone to cook for him. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, sure.
No, I didn't understand. So not being Mexican myself, I might not understand some of the nuances. Now, how do you prefer when you're making? You made tacos, right?
Yeah,
I'm assuming.
yeah.
I mean, was that racist little?
Both. No, yeah, you're right. Both kind of tacos.
So you've made tacos.
Uh-huh.
I remember the one time you made guacamole
Uh-huh.
from scratch. That
Yep.
was impressive.
Yep.
So you're a Mexican food connoisseur
Sure.
and chef. So
Right.
when you're preparing a male taco versus a female taco, what's the difference when you're cooking it? I don't understand. How do you what?
I have no answers for that.
So okay, so when you just take me through the process of making a taco.
Oh my God.
We're trying to learn. We're trying to be educational as well as entertaining. So just take us through, and maybe I can suss out where the difference is.
There's soft tacos, hard tacos, and then there's the
Okay, maybe that's it. So the hard tacos, those are probably the male tacos. They're a little stiff.
Sure.
Like, is it rigid?
Uh-huh. Crunchy.
Okay. And when you're eating it, you don't want if you just shove the hard taco in your mouth, it's gonna probably you gotta kind of like gently ease it in, right?
Little at a time.
So that's definitely the male taco.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're making
Soft tacos.
soft tacos, yeah, how do you make the soft taco?
Well, you just take a regular flour tortilla and then just you could probably.
Do you kind of lick the edges of the tortilla a little bit,
No, I don't lick any tortillas.
or just okay? You fold it, right?
Yeah, you fold it.
So do you maybe just the right where the fold is? You want to lick a little bit, just to.
No lick is involved in making tacos.
I don't know if you've made tacos before the correct way.
Oh God. Anyway, that was the first what the fuck Craigslist. This other one wasn't necessarily a Craigslist one, but it was a dating app profile that I thought was kind of funny.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put this girl on blast. Christina, age 37, not looking to go skiing, hiking, but out for friends with benefits with a twist.
Oh, wait, there's a twist.
Yeah.
This is exciting. It's a little mystery story. What's the twist?
A cold weather novelist like affair with low key chilling and keeping warm when we're able to meet up.
Okay.
A masculine guy who doesn't mind being my fries on the side and having fun, laughs, chats, movies, popcorn and drinks under cozy blankets, and satisfying our intimate needs we've been deprived of. By the way, actually, I should just read it because she says it in the description.
She needs someone to help her make female tacos, I think.
Probably, or eat her tacos.
But not you, because you don't know how to make tacos correctly.
I'm a
no tongue.
taco chef. I'm a thicker woman with lumps and bumps and room for spanks, grips, and hold downs. Wink face.
Oh my.
Desperately want to be a little spoon and have my hair played with heart. So just from the sounds of it, it sounds like she's in a relationship, but she doesn't mind like kind of having a little side dish with somebody else. Like, I guess
she probably needs to go get an MRI because it sounds like she has some tumors.
Yeah, right. Some lumps and bumps and this and that and the other.
In my medical opinion, both as a master taco chef and sometimes doctor, I think you need to get that shit checked out.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from your Craigslist post. Like, yeah, you can get the snuggles under the blanket later. Go see a doctor.
Yeah. Especially if you're lumpy. That was it for What the Fuck's Craigslist. We're gonna breeze through deal breakers where we talk about whether or not we'd swipe left or swipe right if we ran into a situation.
I understand that was a posting, not a swipe left or right. That is a hard left on our friends with benefits.
Oh yeah, for sure. And like I said, yeah, yeah.
And you know what? In hindsight, it is just shocking that she doesn't want to go hiking or skiing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. She also says like she's pretty big gal. So yeah, there's no shock to me that she's doesn't like to go and do outdoorsy things. Deal breakers. Aaron, do you want to start with one or should I start with one?
sure. It's like that knock knock
Sure.
joke. Yeah, you start.
Okay. Deal breaker number one. She's permanently bald from a medical condition.
Does she like to wear wigs?
Yeah, she has to wear wigs.
Well, she could just be bald.
Well, she's bald, but she'll wear wigs. She go out to make her feel more of a woman. But yeah,
Does she have like a lot of different cool wigs,
yeah,
and she just likes to wear them? Yeah, I'm down with that.
right on. You're up. You're up there, Chief.
Um, that'd be cool. Did she have any? By the way, did she have any blue or purple wigs?
Why blue or purple?
I don't know. Something about it, like when I see, I feel like it has to be like cosplay or something. Something
Oh.
about that is alluring, just because your brain's like, oh, that's not what color hair is supposed
Yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Ooh, but it's like very bright and colorful. Oh,
Ooh, dude, then you'll like Future Man, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Yeah, she wears blue,
no,
purple.
is there a
red-
future woman? I don't know if I want future
There's
man.
a character, Future Man, that has purple hair. I think it's purple. Anyway,
I don't think you understand the nature of what I was saying, but that's okay. I have one for you.
sure.
Let's see. You're planning a first date, but she says she needs you to take her homemade COVID vaccine before the first date.
Wait,
So like you guys are like, oh, do you want to go to a restaurant? You're like planning it, and she's like, yeah, we can. But before we go on the first date, you need to make my homemade, you need to take my homemade COVID vaccine, so I know you're safe.
So she made a vaccine for me.
She made her own vaccine that she's taken, and she says to go
Oh,
on the date
fuck
with her,
no.
you have to take the vaccine.
No. I'd show her my fucking card. It'd be like, no, bitch, I took the real shit. Why am I gonna want to take your fucking homemade? I don't know if that shit's gonna be like heroin or
Because it's not the real shit. You've got the government.
yeah.
This is the government made one to control you. It's not even preventing the vaccine. You need to
It's
take
got
mine.
microchips.
I did my research and I figured out all these essential oils and things
Nope.
that will kill. But so like, are you doing it just not on the basis that she's crazy, or are you afraid what would be in it?
Both for
Dude,
sure.
It's fine, Armando. I don't know why are you so close-minded. I'll
Even-
tell you what's in it. Ask
even-
me. I'll
even
tell you
it-
exactly what's in it.
Even if she was a doctor, like a certified fucking went to med school, and she claims to have the real.
Oh no, I'm not a doctor, but
Yeah.
I've spent months researching this
Nope.
on the internet.
Sorry,
Ask me what's in it. It's
Sorry,
fine.
can't
Why are
do
you
it.
so? Why are you so? You know what?
I don't
wanted to-
care if
I
you're-
wanted to be with a real man who's not afraid to take risks. You're a little pussy.
I don't care if she's a 10 and she can call me a pussy all she wants. I'm not.
Well,
I
because you
believe-
are one.
I am.
You're a female taco.
I'm a female taco. I'm a pink taco. All right, Aaron, your turn. You start dating a girl. You want
No,
kid-
deal breaker.
Hold on.
It's a girl.
You
I'm
start
sorry, there was more.
You start dating a girl. You want kids, and
Uh-huh.
but she doesn't, or
Uh-huh.
vice versa. Maybe you don't, but she does.
Well, which one?
Well, you tell me. Would you? Is it in your future that you like? Would you like children at some point in your future? Or
I don't know. Probably,
okay.
but probably.
So let's
not.
assume you lean towards you do want kids,
Uh-huh.
but this girl's like absolutely not. I don't ever want kids.
Does she already have kids?
No,
Would she adopt?
no,
So just no kids.
no kids. She just wants to be an adult with an adult, and that's it. Do you compromise or do you leave?
Well, what's the compromise? It doesn't sound like there's one. Would she be
The-
open
no,
to
'cause-
getting
'cause
a
the-
small
the-
orangutan?
The You motherfucker.
a pygmy. You know, like what was the
Pigs.
There was the mini horse.
A miniature horse. And she's like,
But I want okay. I can't have kids, but I want a miniature horse. Okay, fine, not an orangutan, just a little chimpanzee
she's cool with
that I
it.
can dress up.
She's cool with it.
But we're gonna have to get all kinds of surveillance cameras for a miniature horse. we gotta keep little buddy safe.
So you would stick with her as long as you got some animal.
That's tough. That's really tough because it would suck just not having that as a possibility at all. You know, if she was like, say she had a previous marriage and she has 2-3 kids already, and she's like, I don't want any more. Like, these are my kids. I think I can get in the mindset of, all right, like I'm not these kids, biological parent, but like I will at least had a little bit of that experience,
yeah.
like
Fatherhood.
maybe particularly if their dad was a deadbeat and wasn't in their life, and they're like they need some male
Yeah.
figure, even even if it's maybe not the ideal father, if like something is better than nothing, I'm like, oh, I could be that something.
Yeah.
I think I'd be cool with that, but that would be tough if she's just like on a hard no.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you could also go into that saying, you know what, people change their mind.
Yeah.
Um, and that's actually the whole basis of. There was a Mike Birbiglia special called The New One, and if you remember, I think we saw my girlfriend's boyfriend.
Yeah.
That was sort of the earlier version. He ends up marrying the woman from the end of that special, like who he was dating, and they marry with the understanding that they do not want to have kids. Mike Birbiglia absolutely didn't want to have kids. He's all these reasons. It's a very funny special, and then she's just like, yeah, but I changed my mind. And then he kind of gets dragged along into that. So you could go into it hoping that they change their mind.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, that's tough if you're however 4, 5,
Yeah,
6
because if
years and then they just don't. It seems like
you can go to resent them if it doesn't happen your way. And I dated a gal that I really dug her. She was really cool, but she was like, no kids, and we just never saw eye to eye. I was like, I'm not saying we have to have kids now. It could happen in fucking 10 years. I don't know, but she was like, no kids. So we just.
So she says no kids. I think what I do is I just start getting weirder and weirder animals. Like we get the miniature horse, we get your baby orangutan. They're these like little fox bats. Have you ever seen those things? They're fucking crazy. It looks like a cross between a bat and a dog, and they fly around. They're kind of cute too. It's like we get some of those I think that's what they're called, fox bats. And eventually, either I wear her down. Where she's like, okay, fine, we can have kids. Just no more fucking insane animals in our house. Like this is like it's like remember that apartment in Ace Ventura? It's like that, but just with weirder, more fucked up, destructive animals. Or she just breaks up with me. I'm like, okay, either way, we're gonna have a resolution through passive aggressive animal buying.
All right.
I think that's my plan.
You're up.
Let's see. She says that she wants to live in a tiny home, and that's it. Like she doesn't, no apartment, no house, nothing. Like she's like, if we're gonna be together, we're living in a tiny home.
Where is the tiny home? Is it like in suburbs? Is it in like big city, or is it like kind of somewhere out here in Colorado where there's like land at least?
Armando, it's wherever we want it to be. That's the beauty of a tiny home.
I would be cool with it. Is it if there was like if the tiny home was settled somewhere where there was at least like yard or land or something where I could not be cooped up all day. Like if I can get outside and go fucking dirt bike or something stupid, go fishing.
Like where would your ideal tiny house be?
Well, I don't know all of Colorado, but somewhere like Colorado, but where it's more open. You know what I mean? Not like because I went to like Salida and the drive out there. It's pretty fucking open. Like there's like farmland.
Oh, so actually, you probably passed through. Did you go through Hartselle?
Probably.
It's like kind of midway between, and it just looks like kind of open plains and kind of shitty and boring.
Yeah.
You can get land there super cheap, and they don't give a fuck what you put on it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these plots that you can buy in Colorado, they're with housing developments, and there's homeowners associations, and they're very strict. Like you have to actually build a brick and mortar. You have to get permits. You have to pay. Hartselle's like, oh, someone's gonna move to this Colorado wasteland. You can put whatever you want. You want a trailer. You want. So would you live in Hartselle with her in a tiny house?
I don't know what Hartselle's like, but maybe, yeah. If it was like I said, where I wouldn't have to be cooped up in the tiny house all day, and I could actually go outside here.
You could have 5 acres of weeds and dirt and some shrub trees to just ride your dirt bikes around.
Possibly. But yeah, I'd lean towards like, yeah, that's not a big deal. You know what I mean?
Cool.
You're up. Is this a deal breaker? She has Tourette's, like pretty bad. Well, it's not all profanity, but it's just random shit that she just blurts out. But some of it happens to be profanity.
So when you see pretty bad, I mean, because I know they can actually treat Tourette's, and there's plenty of people who are really functional who have it, and they just have it. Like usually when someone gets treated, it ends up more just being some kind of like tics, like some, it's not. I think it's kind of a misnomer that people have to scream out profanity or anything. It's
Hers is untreated, and she's like, "Fuck treatment."
She's just like, I don't want to be
She's
a
like,
member of society.
fuck treatment. Fuck treatment.
Wow.
I'm an asshole.
I mean, God, now we're gonna have the Tourette's community and taco chefs just writing us angry letters and emails. God damn it. No, probably not. Right? Because like, that's one where the more I've aged and matured, I'm like, oh, it's kind of important to uh, be part of society, right? Like, our whole species is built on social interaction. Like, we're kind of shit by ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we're not particularly strong or fast. Or, I mean, we can sweat and we have big brains, but the big brains aren't that helpful when you're just by yourself. So it's kind of important to at least be like semi-functional in society. If she's just like, fuck society, I am who I am. I'm like, okay, go be who you are by yourself. But if she just had Tourette's and she was cool, and I mean, God, who is it? There was a baseball player who had Tourette's. I can't remember who he was on the Phillies, which fucking makes sense. It's the Phillies. But yeah, that'd be cool. But if she's just like, I'm sorry, can you do your really perfect spot on Tourette's impression again?
No. That was a one-off. Remember, we're on video now, so someone might see this and shit. You're like, fuck that guy, that Mexican piece of shit.
So I like how you made the person flaming you racist a little bit. That's good. You
right.
put it back on them.
Yeah.
Fuck you, people.
All right, you're up.
Okay. Hold on, I gotta open my phone back up. She's a streamer and she wants to live stream your first date.
She's a streamer and she wants to live stream our first date.
Yeah, like that's
like she's got a camera that she takes with her as we're like. How does that work? Like we go out on a date somewhere, it's not going to be in her bedroom where her camera setup is.
No, like she's got it's connected to her phone. Her phone's got the 5G whatever, so she's just streaming it. So it's like just like a small
I think I'd be okay with it because I would make an ass of myself. I would like be. I'd be like,
she's gonna stream everything. That's what she does. She's like a lifestyle streamer. So everywhere she goes, she's like, on this episode we're going to the gym. On this episode we're going to this date with a Mexican who doesn't know how to lick a taco. Like
I might go out like you. I might go out with her a couple times, and then like if it got old, I would be like, sorry. I like privacy too. But I would go on a date or 7.
A date or 7?
Yeah.
But then here's the other catch. She's what's the preferred number of dates to have sex now? And didn't it used to be 3 or 4?
Something like that in that neighborhood.
Is it still that?
I think so. I don't know. I haven't gone on a date in a long fucking time.
So basically she's like, Mondo, like it's day 3. I'm just telling you ahead of time, like, yeah, you're gonna get lucky.
And
like,
we're gonna stream the shit.
She's like, yeah, our first 2 dates, like they did huge numbers. Like who knew?
Here's what I would do. I would go and buy like gas station dick pills and make sure I like perform like fucking like King Kong the time that we, you know what I mean?
Well, and she's like, by the way, like we're not streaming this to Twitch, but it is gonna go on my OnlyFans.
See, but I don't like OnlyFans. If she had an OnlyFans, I wouldn't be with it.
Why don't you like OnlyFans?
Because that's just girls that want to be hoe bags and get paid for it.
Yes, she's like, this is my job, Armando. This is how I make money.
Not cool with it.
Okay, I'll give you 50% of the proceeds from the OnlyFans on her stream.
Not cool with it.
Armando, it's gonna make $7,000. You're gonna get $3,500 for this.
Nah.
You get to fuck and you get $3,500.
Nah. If she has an OnlyFans, I'm not dating her.
Oh wow! So you're okay. You're okay with dating her while she's streaming the dates. You're okay with fucking her while she's streaming it.
Yeah.
But you don't. You're like, I'm not a prostitute.
Because I'm thinking if it's an OnlyFans, like that is her profession. It's like basically an internet whore. Whereas if she's streaming it, she's streaming her life, and then the sexy time stuff happens to be like a part of it. Like that's not what she does.
Right. That's just how you monetize the sexy time part. Because you can't, Armando. Okay, I'm just gonna. This is our first stream. You might not know how YouTube terms of service works. We cannot stream a live fucking episode of. I mean, for a couple reasons. Like one, I like you as a friend, but we're not that close. Okay. So that's problem 1. 2, you are not allowed to broadcast sexy times on YouTube.
What about Twitch? I don't know the rules.
Not Twitch, not YouTube, not.
Oh.
There's only one place you
What
can
if-
do it. It's OnlyFans.
What if it's like you're wearing a blanket covering it, and all you see is the blanket going up and down?
Okay, what Mondo? I understand you're trying to talk me into something. What type of blanket is it going to be that you're talking? Is it like a really soft, like kind of like cashmere blanket?
It's a soft cashmere blanket that you could lick. Anyway,
now I'm licking blankets.
I'm my turn. We gotta
Jesus, you just made that so weird, Mondo.
we gotta
What the
race
fuck's wrong
through.
with
We
you?
gotta race through these. We're over an hour now. All right, your turn. She's been in a 3-way with 2 dudes before.
The same guys?
What do you mean the same guys?
Like, so she was in a 3-way with 2 guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you was that a deal breaker? Would you
Why would that be? Just because she got banged by 2 guys?
at the same time
Right.
in a 3-way?
But like just once, she was like, I just wanted to try it.
Sure.
Okay, cool. How
You'd be cool with that?
how was it?
You'd be cool with that?
She wanted to try a 3-way. Like, would you want to try a 3-way with 2 girls?
Hell yeah.
Okay, so she wanted to try a 3-way with 2 guys.
I wouldn't be cool with it.
Mm,
That's misogynist Armando saying no, hell no.
that would be what's known as a double standard.
Yep. Absolutely.
Wow. That was one of the Reddit questions that we didn't answer. Is like, what double standard annoys you? And then people were talking about all this other stuff. I wouldn't have expected that. Like,
Yep.
okay, she tried it. Like, if she was like, that is my thing. Like, by the way, if we're gonna have sex, it's gonna be with you and another dude. Just to know, you come first. And I'm like, well, not always. I mean, sometimes I don't. I'm just real tired today. But like, no. But if she's like, every time we have sex, we're gonna have to go out to a bar, find another dude, and like that's how I like to get down. I'm like, fuck no.
You know what? Just
But if she just tried one, like
this
no,
is-
well,
and this is-
that's fine.
this is honesty. I would be hesitant if a chick was down to do a 3-way. Like if it's a girl I want to be in a relationship with,
Mm-hmm.
I would be kind of hesitant to be with a girl that was always looking to be in a 3-way, even if it was another girl. As strange as, like, I think it'd be cool to do once or twice, just to kind of, yeah, I did a 3-way with 2 chicks, yay. But like, if this was like a girl you cared about or in a relationship with, I don't know if I could pull it off, and like where she always has to have a third person, guy or girl, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're really just looking for an open relationship, which from never been in one, but it sounds like they never work out.
Yeah.
But the way you posited it was, oh, she just wanted to try one to see what it was like. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not down with it either.
Wow.
You're up.
Wow. Amazing girl, just wanted to explore herself sexually a little bit.
Cool. Good for her.
And you're like no, you deserve to be in the kitchen. You make me
No.
sandwiches,
Look,
and you shut your mouth when I'm talking to you.
people get shitty tattoos too, and you could undo a shitty tattoo. You can't undo being banged by 2 dudes.
You
You're
don't
up.
have to undo it. That's the whole fucking point.
You're
It's not a
you're
big
up.
deal.
You're up.
She lives in a different like you meet her on one of the dating apps. She lives in a different state, but she visits like once, twice a month, and she says she's looking to move, but she doesn't have any timetable.
Is it a deal breaker? No, no. If I really dug her and she really if she really was considering like moving into town, like it could be a year, it could be 2 years. Like I'd be down with it if we saw each other enough. Obviously, we're probably talking on the phone or like doing online and texting and all this other bullshit, anyways. But if we saw each other frequently enough, I think I'd be
Once a
okay
month.
with- Yeah, I'd be fine with it.
Just as long as she, in her whole past, like 15 years ago, she never tried a 3-way with 2 other guys.
Exactly.
She's like, you don't have to live near me. I don't have to see you that often. I just, at no point in your life were 2 dicks in immediate proximity to you.
Yep.
That's the hard and fast. I get it. It completely
Alright.
makes sense.
I'm up.
Because like the 2 dicks, they'll like taint her. They'll put a spell on her.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna test you on this one.
And she's the whole time, she's like, Armando's 1 dick is not enough for me. I
Aaron.
need 2.
Aaron, is this a deal breaker?
Uh-huh.
She used to be a dude.
Yeah.
It is a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, what if she was born a woman but in a man's body, and she transformed and wanted to be, and she was always felt like a woman.
Like, does she, I mean, So you're talking about like full surgery and everything like
yeah,
that?
yeah. She's got a vagina. She's got boobs. You can hardly even tell if she was ever a dude.
We're just gonna go back. I mean, I was joking about the whole orangutan thing and everything, but like,
Are you saying transgenders are orangutans?
um, now I'm thinking about it. There is the one movie. What was that movie where there was an orangutan and they put it in makeup? No, that's not what I was saying at all. What I was saying was it goes back to that whole thing about having kids, where I was joking about like that not really being an issue, but like, yeah, you can't really have kids with a transgender person. I guess you could adopt. If they were down to adopt, that would throw a whole new wrinkle. No, you know what? That's one where, like, if I'm being honest, like that would be the adopting having kids thing would be a smaller impediment. Um, I'm all for people having transgender relationships and all that. I think that's one where like I'm probably just not open minded enough quite yet.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a social thing. Maybe that's just me being like, like something about a biological woman is more attractive.
You know what brought that? What that one brought? Why that question was brought to attention? It was when you had joined Bumble several episodes back when you thought brought up that there was like a transgender that like showed up on your whatever. I joined. I think it was Hinge like a week ago or whatever. I think it was Hinge. And that same person popped up. I was like, "Oh, I recognize that dude. I mean, that woman. That's the one that Jaffe brought up in the thing." It was like that same girl, woman, boy,
woman. I think.
Sure. So that's why that question was like. I was like, "Oh, I gotta ask Jaffe that. See what he answers." All right, you're up. Last one before we.
That's it.
Oh, no more.
We are done. Deal breakers.
All right. Well, that was it for the that was it for the episode. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Do you have anything else to add?
I do.
Okay.
I do, because I was actually thinking about this. Like, I know I've always had a tendency to like really dig in when I think I'm right about something, and I think I've gotten better at that as I've gotten older. But I always assumed that came from my dad. It was weird. I was having a conversation with my mom where we were just trying to get some paperwork done so we could submit the housing application. And she's like, this email's not going through. Like, can you send it for me? Because we had to send something to the Lakewood like water. It was like, so I think it was whatever the email was. It was like customer service at lakewood.org. And like I tried to search and I'm like, "Oh, are you sure it's not lakewoodwater.org?" She's like, "No, it's not. It's lakewood.org. I told you." I'm like, "Okay, well, I'm just checking. I'm not seeing that email come up, but I see this one for Lakewood Water." And she's like, "Well, look, here's the email. This is what the guy told me." Like, and I look at the email. I'm like, "Well, it's from lakewoodwater.org. Are you sure?" She's like, "Well, that's not what." And she just, and it was to the point where I'm like, I don't care. I'm just trying to figure out how to send the email. Like, I don't even care about right or wrong. Like, let's just figure it out so we can get this thing submitted. And I had that thing like, "Oh, I wonder if that's where that comes from."
Yeah.
Because I definitely remember when I was younger, like digging into that point where I'm like refused, even when it was like staring me in the face. And now, like a lot quicker, I'm like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think. And then because I was thinking of that even before that because we were having a conversation where I was trying to get you to enter into a collaborative discussion where we would pick an Netflix, and like something about the way I was phrasing it, you didn't understand that I was asking you a question.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm like Mondo, like I would like to do this show for, our Netflix segment. And you're like, And I'm like, can you use words? And you're like, what do you mean? Like I just said okay. And
because I think again it was a thing of miscommunication in the sense that I didn't realize there was a question that you wanted a response to. I just thought I was like, yeah, sure.
And then we got into an argument about whether or not I'd asked a question. I'm like, dude, but that was the part. That was the funny thing. I wasn't even stressed about the show or picking it. I'm like I'm just trying to like collaborate with you, motherfucker. Yeah. Like talk. No, use words.
Honestly, by that time I didn't care. I was like, do it. Yeah, whatever.
But that was the whole point. Was it wasn't about doing the show. I was trying to pick a show with you and like you're not talking. Dickhead.
So next week, Degenerates, we are now live on YouTube and streaming and all this stuff, and you can actually chat with us. I don't know that we can actually chat live. I don't know if anyone is going to actually ever interact with us live. But next week, being that is going to be the week before Halloween, Aaron and I have something lined up for people that watch the video feed on our or live stream or watch it on YouTube later. But we're gonna try to make the video feed a little more interesting for we're gonna call it the pre-Halloween episode. I've got nothing else to add.
The one thing though, and this did kind of register me. I think when I need to be like really literal with you.
Yeah.
Because that's also in the past how I've interpreted everything. That's probably why we got along so well in college, because we both spoke the very same literal language. And we're like, yeah, of course. And probably being around women for so long has like warped it, where I'm like, no, like, it's not what I said, it's what I meant, Armando. What the fuck? How come you didn't understand? And you're like, because that's what you said. I'm like, no, but
yeah.
And so I was like, it's just like a reminder, right. Like, Armando's gonna interpret everything 100% literally,
like a dude.
Mental note.
We hope you guys enjoy this podcast. I'm having fun with it.
Like Armando 5000, the robot.
I like Armando 5000, the robot. Yeah, stay tuned for next episode. We got some pretty cool things lined up for the pre-Halloween episode.
You know who the only other person who used to care about phrasing things in the form of a question as much as you was Alex fucking Trebek. You're like, you do not get the $5,000. You didn't phrase it in the form of a question.
Thank you guys for listening. We hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and we did probably. We'll talk to you guys in a week. Stay safe. Don't do drugs, except for the fun ones. Bye.
Peace out.